And we go to their house,
North Zulch, which
is this big rascal comes around the corner of the house holding a 30-pack of Busch Light and an AR-15.
I thought he was sitting on the porch,
AK-47
but
or
it was
something,
it was an assault rifle and it was a 30-pack of beer, and then he just walked down the gravel road, and then I can't remember if
you asked the girl in the back,
where's he headed? She's like, he's probably gonna shoot cats or something. And I was like, can we please get a ride to Madisonville so we can make the rodeo tonight, please?
Rodeo time. Gotta get her on down the road.
I didn't know how long you wanted to ride her.
Well, I was figuring 1 or 2 rounds, and then as soon as I started setting my rein down, and
Does that mean rolling?
Yeah, that means rolling.
Yeah, that means rolling.
We're rolling, ladies and gentlemen. This is Dale Brisby. Thank you, Randy.
Yes.
Have a good day.
You leaving?
Yeah, I'll see if I see you Saturday.
Oh yeah, for
Randy,
sure.
we'll see
for sure.
JC Saturday.
Victoria real quick.
Time's the deal tonight.
6 o'clock, I think.
Randy
It's like
is
6 o'clock right now, isn't it?
5 o'clock.
Getting close.
helping Victoria cook for Caitlin's birthday. So, yeah, it's happy birthday, Caitlin.
What'd you get her?
I get her a paycheck every week
Mm-hmm.
because she works for me.
Fair enough.
I restrung her guitar.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I'd tell her hello if I saw her, but I haven't seen her.
Or maybe happy birthday.
Or happy birthday. I would follow hello
Hello
with
with
happy
that,
birthday.
yeah.
Right. But I would introduce myself with a hello. Simple greeting.
We've got with us Rock and Roll Denim, Huey, Ruffy, Cowboy. Who else you got sponsored? We want to give your sponsors a plug.
Resistol.
We
We live it every day.
live it every day.
Like you said, Panhandle Rock and Roll Denim. Tony Llama Boots. I'm
Okay.
excited about that.
Yep.
And, of course, Ruffy, like you said, Huey. And MedCore Clinics.
Nice.
So there you go.
You got to have the doctors in your back pocket.
Yeah, and they're actually really great dudes. So
Yeah.
they're fun to hang out. They came down to South Texas. They had like a big conference, and we just went riding on some place. I mean, they're a pretty good hang too. So, and they wear cowboy hats at all their venues, like all their like conferences and stuff. All felt.
So you know they're legit.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just like to hang out, and they also wear cowboy hats. So like, we tend to vibe pretty good.
Yeah.
The whole reason he has those sponsors is because you're a world champion.
Yeah, in 2015. But they were my boys beforehand. So
Oh.
actually, all of those people, we were in Nakona there for a while.
Right.
Great, and then now Tony Llama. That's really the only change. Other than that, it's been that bunch of boys for a minute now.
For a
so.
minute. Yeah. Jameson, Joey, Resistol.
So what's up?
Nine NFRs.
Yes, sir. Last year, yeah, it'd be sweet to make 10 this
Lord
year.
willing, 10 this year.
Come on.
Yeah, Bo. Currently sitting 6th.
I don't know.
You bet.
I can't remember if you or your brother are 6th.
It's somewhere.
But-
It's yeah. There's a lot of rodeo left to go whenever we start rodeoing again.
Yeah.
So.
You got cabin fever?
I came and got on bucking horses at Radiator Ranch, so I'm nicking away at it. But
Yeah.
it's man, I'm ready to go rodeo, drive a little bit, drink coffee late at night. I don't
Th-
do that anymore. So
This is a historic moment. Like, for real, this is, like, so crazy in the world of rodeo. Like, if you look back, it's just like,
I think you could say in the world of the world.
right,
You
for
know what
sure.
I'm saying behind
Yes.
that? So, like, I know that we, as rodeo cowboys, like, we look at it in the vacuum that is the life of rodeo, but, like, you look at it and it's crazy. And that's, like, the guys that I talk to, they're like, so when we going rodeoing?
Yeah.
Like we have a switch. It's like, I don't know. Like, you
Right.
know as much as I know. Like,
Yeah.
watch the news, brother. Like, that's, like,
So-
I just want to go get on bucking horses really badly. So, like, I'm with you.
We don't talk about this, haven't talked about it, not in Snapchat, not in podcast, but we're talking about rodeoing. It's
Sure.
late April, so we're going to just kind of skim on it. That's what I'm talking about. But Anyway,
Given the times, yeah. I feel
For
like,
sure.
I mean, like, everybody recognizes, like, how, I don't know, serious, but yet out of the norm and everything going on. Like, it's worth it.
I'm hoping 4th of July.
Come on. I'm hoping Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So get the ball rolling, and then by the 4th, be in full swing. There's just so many great rodeos. I just don't want to miss any more. And I don't even care at this point. So
Yeah.
anything.
Anything. Amy's.
Well, I don't know. The way that I've looked at it is, you know, I've been, like I said, 9 times, whatever. I'm 31, you know. So you start thinking about how many years am I going to do it? And I think if in nothing else, this lets a guy know that you're not ready to retire. If you're, you know what I'm saying, at that point after a month and a half, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Retirement would not work for you
So, no, so.
at 31.
So we still got that going, so.
Right. Man, 9 years in a row. What's the? Do
You
know
were
what-
you were there. I mean, it's funny to think back because 2011, driving Rhonda was her name.
Yep.
Rhonda
Maroon van.
purchased in Billings, Montana because they ran out of rental cars. Then we had to cancel our flight home from Oregon and drive it down to College Station and make my lab Monday afternoon. And Rhonda was a sweet rig. And like my senior project in the engineering design class we had to go into Houston. We had like 4 other, you know, lab partners, and they were what you think of when you think of engineers. And but I had a van, and they thought that van was the sweetest thing. And so like we'd go to like our business meeting, and then we'd go like get Mexican food afterwards, and they'd all have margaritas, and I'd drive them home in the van.
In
like
the van.
yeah.
You guys
So-
have gone through some vans.
Yeah.
I think you.
Well, I bought Rhonda because of that. I bought Big Earn in Rapid City because the ambulance engine blew up, and so we didn't have. All of my vans have been purchased out of necessity.
Which one came from
So-
Barry's Cherries?
That's Rhonda. That's my
Rhonda.
girl.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That was actually Barry's.
cherries.
Barry's. It's still open. If you go through Billings, Montana, Barry's Cherries is a used car lot.
You've not ever heard this story?
I
Leroy?
have. I just forgot the name of the
Well-
place was Barry's Cherries.
Well, we ran through the lot.
That's a
I mean,
great
so
name.
I'm talking to all the rental car places. Hey, there's a big conference in town. We're out of rental cars. I was like, oh my God, Sterling, we got to make it to Kalispell, Montana. And it's me, Sterling, and Cody Anglin. And anyways, so I just told the cab driver, I was like, take us to the biggest used car lot in town. And we went to a place called Barry's Cherries. And we were running through the cars, and it was like minivan. You know, and so I was about to land on that, you know, and go around the corner, and there's this high top, you know, conversion van. It's got like a little kid's softball sticker on the back window. And I remember seeing it, and I ran into the lady at the counter again. I was like, hey, what about the conversion van on the side of the building? And she's like, that's Barry's. I was like, is that for sale? And he's like, well, everything's for sale with Barry. And I was like, please call him. And
Oh, I thought you were saying Barry was saying his own name in the third person.
if only. And then that would mean I actually know a woman named Barry, but it was anyways. That's not. So she calls Barry. You know, fast forward. She gives me the price. I say, "Do you take a debit card?" She said, "Yes." We were out of there in 15 minutes. We drove Barry. She had to get some stuff out of Barry's rig for him, but I guess like that's where he drove to like his kids' sporting games and stuff. Like he would haul like multiple children in it.
Take the whole baseball team, the little league team to
So
the game as the bus.
Barry was hiding his best cherry behind the freaking office.
That's where you had all the good ones. And so we got the van though, and I'm talking stomped on it. And Kalispell, Montana is not close to Billings. It is still a great drive. And we pull into Kalispell, and the Broncs are loaded.
Ooh.
And, I mean, they're loaded. People are saddling the Broncs. Sterling won the Bronc riding. I think I won third or fourth. And then we drove from Kalispell. We were in Caldwell the next night, and then Canby, and I won Canby. So between what I won in Canby and Kalispell, I paid for Rhonda. And then we canceled our flight because we were originally flying from Portland down to Houston so I could be back at school Monday morning or Monday afternoon. Canceled the flight Sunday morning, drove all day, and I made my lab Monday afternoon. And I drove Rhonda for like a year and a half before I sold her to Cody. So
Dang.
It was pretty good. And then he sold it to another dude. But she was a good van for no more thought. And I literally got in the car, put it in reverse, checked the brake, put it back in like drive, drove it back into the parking spot, said, "Yep, we can take it." Like they're like, "Go drive it down the street." I was like, "I ain't got that kind of time, lady." Like if it runs and moves forward and backwards and the blinkers work, blinkers are optional because we can stick our arm out the door or at the window. But it worked out really great. And similar, like Big Earn wasn't as cool of a story, but this dude had just bought it. So I was in Rapid City, and I got a call from Sterling and Jeremy that said, "Hey, the ambulance just blew up. They were going across Oklahoma from Springdale, Arkansas, and we had to finish out the rest of the summer. Like this was the 4th of July. Like it just blew up." And so I was like, okay. So I went to a used car lot, and the guy was just bought it up from an auction. I haven't, checked anything in this van. It was an old man's van. You know Big Earn. You got Big Earn.
Yeah.
You bought Big Earn.
Yeah.
And then
from
you
Sterling.
gave Big away. From me. You didn't buy that from Sterling. Sterling's never in possession of Big Earn.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Sterling and I went to Rapid City in it.
It was just parked at his house.
Yeah.
And
through
we-
the storm.
Yeah.
Were you in that car?
Yes,
The
and
ice?
that's when we ran into that truck hitch and dented the front, and then I bought it from you. Yeah.
No, you're thinking of Sterling's maroon high top van.
Sterling had a van.
He had a
when
van.
I bought your van, Sterling's van was sitting there. Rhonda had already been gone.
Rhonda was
So I knew there was 3 vans.
Rhonda was sold in 12. Big Earn, he surfaced a year or two later.
Yeah.
And then Sterling's van, I don't even know her. Charlene, I think was her name.
I gave that van away right at the right time.
Yeah, she went kaput.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
While we're
Well-
talking about vehicles, just we'll segue into like my favorite story rodeoing with y'all was us 3 were living together
Yeah.
in College Station, and it was us 3 and Aaron lied
Oh, yeah.
in the front seat of your single cab blue truck.
Oh, my gosh.
And I don't remember what you called him.
Blue. Spoiler alert. Here's a really original name for a 1981 Chevy. Blue.
So we're in College Station, Bryan College Station. It's
I
pretty
still
much
drive
one
blue.
town.
My son loves.
You still have it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely.
man.
It's got a
One of
sleeper on it.
It's one of my favorite rodeo stories. We're trying to go to a rodeo 30 minutes away from the house.
Madisonville, Texas.
We don't get out of Bryan, and we break down at a gas station.
False. Fine. You want me to tell a story? Okay, fine. We start overheating in Bryan. We make it.
Normandy?
No.
We did. We made it to 21. We
Well-
didn't even make it to Normandy. We made it to 21
You
to
know
the
what
gas
happened?
station, and
I
these
know
ladies
exactly
pull
what happened.
up and see us, and they're like, "Y'all some cowboys? Y'all headed to a rodeo?"
No, they were messing with us on the drive. They were speeding by. Remember that?
Yes.
Because they
Dude.
saw
What
that
did
there
that
was
remember
sticker
that.
say? There was something about
All right,
big
you know what?
chicks or something on
big
their
trucks or something.
Jacobs, just
Silly boys, big trucks are for girls or something. Like it was
Something like that.
You
Yeah.
can start the story over and tell it in your words. You're better
Don't
at it.
worry, because after that overheating, Aaron Ladd and I literally overheated going to Huntsville like a week later, and we did make it to Roan's Prairie. Something with a radiator cap. I don't know, man. It's an 81. Cut me some slack.
So,
Same truck my
we-
dad drove at A&M. Was that
Those
truck.
girls pull up beside us in
On
Bryan.
Highway 6.
rolling
We
4
get
deep.
their phone number.
No radio,
deep in
but
the
we had
front
a
seat.
stereo
No AC.
boombox. We had a boombox.
We get their phone number. We go 15 more miles. The truck breaks down.
That's exactly what
We
happened.
They're
call
behind
these
us.
girls.
No, they're behind us.
Okay, but
I
they
thought
they
we had to call them.
they
Yeah.
pick
Did we?
us up, and we got to stop by their house first.
Right. We got to stop by the house and check on
And
their
we
dad.
go to their
In North
house,
Zulch,
and
which is
this big rascal comes around the corner of the house, holding a 30-pack of Busch Light and an AR-15.
I thought he was
was
sitting
an
on the porch,
AK-47
but
or
it was
something, wasn't
it
it?
was an assault rifle and it was a 30-pack of beer, and then he just walked down the gravel road, and then I can't remember if
you asked the girl in the back.
where's
"What's-
he headed. She's like, he's probably gonna shoot cats or something. And I was like, can we please get a ride to Madisonville so we can make the rodeo tonight, please? Pretty please.
So we go to Madisonville, and
Before we become the cat.
they're like, "Well, do y'all want us to stick around?" We're like, "You can stick around, but we got to ride.
We got to ride home.
We're not going with you.
We've made it this far.
remember
Made it to our destination.
Didn't like you won the bronc ride and he won the bull ride.
We all had girlfriends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
that's
were
what happened.
there.
I went home with
I
my
didn't.
girlfriend. Took me home.
Yeah, you didn't.
It's
I
not-
remember your girlfriend being there. I don't
Yeah.
remember
That's
if
who
I
gave
did.
us a ride.
Yeah,
Home.
we all went back.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
home
Right.
in the Hummer.
Right.
yeah. And then
Much
we dropped y'all off
smoother
at the bar.
Ride going back.
Yeah.
Golly, glory days.
Cats or something.
Probably
That's
go
exactly-
shoot cats or something.
Oh man.
Man, yeah, that was a
That was a good time.
crazy times. That you might have lived on State Street over there.
I did.
Georgia.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you weren't living
Yeah,
with us.
he
Yeah,
wasn't
you
living
and
with
Yeah,
us.
Hey
that-
Lad
was,
were
'cause
living
that
together.
was the first.
Yeah.
That was the first semester at A&M
Golly,
because that was
Spring
the blue
break
truck.
09. Yeah.
and that was
Oh my gosh. That
couple
was
of
spring
years
break,
before your first NFR.
Yeah.
Yeah, 09, and then 11. There for a time, I think I could have beat you at Jacob's Crawley trivia.
What you talking?
Just your first NFRs and like, cause I was going with you guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
was
what's
like-
so bad is I don't know, man. So to tell Rhonda's story, remember she made it out to Vegas. We took a picture with her in Vegas. Rhonda, you're doing it. And then we drive home to College Station, and she breaks down 45 minutes from the house.
Yes.
And we
Yeah.
had to get a tow.
Yep.
I've got the picture still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Of
yeah,
Rhonda
where
getting
you're like
towed.
you're leaning down, looking at it like this, and that tire. It was something like the.
I don't know. It was something like a really old van that had been drove a lot around the country.
Golly.
So
Snook. We went to Snook a lot.
The old NFR
Practice
pin.
in Snook. The only, like, part of me every now and then wishes I would have spent a little more time with Kermit. You know,
Moss.
'cause, yeah, Kermit was
just
just
super cool.
super cool guy.
Yeah.
But they practice team roping every day. Like, I wish I'd have just like leaned over and listened for like 30 seconds a day, just to become a better.
All you wanted to do was get done riding so we could hit the bar. So I don't know why you're trying to.
That's me.
front.
That's me.
Yeah, just to dance at lose at pool
Harry's!
and lose at pool.
Now that's where the story's bending.
What's
This
that?
guy used to get so mad I would whoop him handily.
False
at
and
pool.
false.
Oh
But-
my gosh, I would clean house with this guy at pool.
It honestly, it wasn't even fun to be there, just because those two were so competitive that it was like, guys, we're here to have fun.
This is
No,
awkward.
I'm winning. I am winning the next game.
Run it back, rack him.
It's neither
Rack
here nor
'em.
there. But we did shoot a lot of pool.
Yes.
That was
And the chicken.
and the chicken was.
Been to the chicken.
Yeah, I've been to the chicken.
Yeah.
It's a special place.
Yeah.
It really
is.
is pretty sweet. Chicken and chicken roll, man. Those are my two. Those are my joints around that neck of the woods. Talking about this, I'm gonna get all worked up. But
Yeah.
I think some of
And-
the best times I've had at the chicken were with y'all and Mitch
we had big
Montgomery.
times. Yeah.
Just College Station in general, like
Yeah.
such a it's crazy. Like there's other towns and colleges that are much more rodeo focused, but just rodeo in there, and that was just a special place. I don't know.
Well, y'all kind of pioneered the whole A&M Ruffy Rodeo team, didn't you? Like y'all are the
We
ones that
were-
kind of got it going.
There was few and far between with
There's
the rough stock. I remember whenever I went to Dr. Al in my I knew I wanted to do engineering, and they didn't offer it at Tarleton. That's where I was at. So I was like, all right, I need to go check out the campus. I need to meet with the counselor or whatever you call them, in the engineering department I want to transfer into, get my classes set up. So anyways, I go into Dr. Al's office, and I mean, I was an all right bronc rider or whatever, you know what I mean? Definitely the college rodeo. And anyways, I sit down, and he's like, well, I mean, do you ride broncs? I was like, yeah, no, I want to ride bucking horses for you, and I know, and he's like, well, can you stay on and stuff like that? I was like, I'm anyways, put me in an awkward position because I was like, yeah, I can kind of stay on.
Yeah,
but, like,
year
I'm
later
not gonna
you're the
like
college rodeo world
boast
champion.
me up, you know what I'm saying? And like, anyways, so I left his office, and then like 5 minutes later, I get a call from Bonner Cooper, and he's like, hey, Dr. Al just called me saying, have you ever heard of this guy named Jacob Crawley and stuff like that? He's trying to come here and join the rodeo team. And I was like, man, anyways. So I was like, yes, Bonner, tell him. I'm trying to, I'm coming to A&M. I need some help. You know what I'm saying? So anyway,
Yeah.
so Bonner gave me a shout out, and Dr. Al, and I mean, it worked out. I
And-
won the college finals. So
And
for
then
A&M.
became best friends with Dr. Al, just
And
like
then
everybody
Dr.
on the
Al's-
rodeo
I
team.
mean, he is my boy. Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
I wasn't even on the A&M Rodeo team when I was boys with Dr. Al.
No, I know. I think he's
That's
retired now. I
insane.
think he's retired. Fun fact. Anyways,
I didn't
Did he
know that.
really?
I think he just did. Yeah.
I
But
miss that guy.
So
you were on the low the president of the A&M Rodeo
Yeah,
Club.
real talk.
That is real talk. That's El
I was like
Presidente.
I was like a laid back El Presidente too.
Yeah.
And so like the end of my junior year or senior year or whatever, and then going into
Right.
grad school or whatever, like nobody really was wanting to. And
Yeah.
so I was like, I'll do it. And then so like I'm on the low, the president, like pretty laid back and not like somebody you would expect to be organized and well then the next year like the team, like people flood in and it's like
There was a lot of people. Right.
and now I'm their leader. And I'm like, last year did none of y'all want to do this? So I don't know. I did okay, but
Here's your paperwork. Fill it out. This is the address.
I
to
actually
send it to
forgot
you.
about it till you just brought it up. So we've got Donnie here, aspiring bronc rider.
Come on.
What kind of advice you got for Donnie? Like getting kicked off, like been on 2 broncs, and
Dude, stick with it. Don't. I feel like with anybody and anything, don't set deadlines. Don't set all this kind of stuff. Just don't accept, that it's not going to work out and just stay hooked with it. You know what I mean? And then if you just kind of hold on to the core, principles of bronc riding and the little bit about it, and you stay hooked with it, you'll get it. You know what I mean? Like, you'll get it to where you can stay on bucking horses, you can win money, and you can have fun. You know what I mean? And I think that's the best part about bronc riding is of the rough stock to me. Like, you can do it longer, seems like. And, like a good bronc ride, like, you're not sore. You know what I mean? Like, you can just jump on practice horses like we did today, and you're good to go. You know what I mean? And it's just like getting a little workout in to where you're like, stuff's a little tight, but you stretch a little bit and you're rocking and rolling. So just don't quit, brother. I mean, start with good equipment, listen to people, but figure out what works for you and keep plugging.
how many broncs before it clicked for you?
I don't know, man. Has it clicked? I still, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm still waiting for that click to go off. But, I don't know. I remember after a year or 2 of getting on horses, and then just all of a sudden, just a little bit of everything, like I kind of moved my feet with that horse.
Yeah.
And then it just keeps going and going and going. You know what I mean? And it goes back to that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with setting goals like, I'm going to do this by this day. But if you don't make it by that day, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, just let it be what it is and be like, all right, that didn't work. So now I'm going to move it to this. And in order to get there, I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? So you're in a great environment with some really good horses, some decent people, and a good setup to keep going down that route to where you can get a handle and an understanding of it and be able to compete, you know what I mean, and to progress and have fun,
Yes.
you know what I mean, and it not just to be an idea so much as something that you actually do. So
I think I'm down to get another horse.
yeah,
I am down. If the right horse came along, like we'll get it.
yeah,
But, I mean,
it's
if
got to
you-
be that bug in the ear. I
if
mean,
you
I don't
see
know.
one,
Yeah,
I'll talk to.
you can talk to your boys. Just
Talk to my
just
boys.
be on the horn. Because there's always those horses. Feeding those horses that are, can't take the diesel smoke. It gets expensive. So
There's
It's
not a
always
lot
a
of
way.
diesel smoke for the horses that went
right now, well, I was saying there's not a lot of diesel smoke right now in general.
Right, that too.
So
It's
maybe
gonna be a
guys
lot
that wanna
of fresh horses when stuff cracks back out.
It is, and I mean, I don't know. It's gonna be different.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it does happen at the end of the month. So
Golly.
enough of the Debbie Downer side of things, but yeah, it would
It's
be it would be really cool to go to rodeo.
It's just exciting to see, like, once all this is over, like, who's been working,
Yeah.
who's hungry, like, who are the young kids that we hadn't heard of that are coming, that have been busting their butt the
We'll say
last 4 months.
I think everybody's gonna be hungry. I think guys, like I said,
I'm talking about like the newcomers, the
Right.
new guys coming. That's what I'm excited to see.
I was talking to Hot Sauce last night, and he was saying, he's like, every single rodeo is gonna be as many guys as can get to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm looking at going to like
Hot sauce
Utah.
is Cody Demos.
Yeah,
for all of
Hot
you
Sauce
listeners.
Demos.
You're going to Utah?
No, I can't do it, but I considered it, and I've never considered it. No, I mean like in June. you know, I mean, we're all there come July, August because the size of the rodeos. But like, there's like some circuit rodeos for them guys,
Yeah.
and it's just like, well, do we need to go up there? You know,
Yeah.
because they might be the only rodeos going on. Nah, I can't go that far. I can't do it.
Right.
So, but I mean,
Yeah.
trust me, there's enough bronc riders in Beaver and Milford. They will field their performances.
Right.
So,
Hopefully, yeah, that Cleburne and Weatherford and that
I
big
know,
weekend.
those are such fun
Coleman.
rodeos. Those are great rodeos.
What's the
great
other one?
committees?
Gladewater.
Gladewater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
all 4 of
weekend.
'em. And sometimes they kind of move it around. I don't know, you know, if they're back-to-back weekends, but you know, their Memorial Day weekend is kind of the target right now, and you know, you got Fort Smith and a few of those rodeos like that around that time that are, you know, long-standing great rodeos. So hopefully they're back. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying, and kicking.
Yeah. Do you think a lot of guys, I mean, they're going to be hungry, but have a lot of guys been working, like getting on practice horses, or is everybody just kind of taking advantage of a vacation?
Man, I hadn't sat in my saddle in a month until last week. I hadn't sat in my saddle in a month. Not only was it the longest that I hadn't been on a bucking horse in, you know, a month and a half. That was the longest span I've had a break.
Since when?
I was high school and 18. Since I was 18, because ever since I was 18, I was
12 years.
amateur rodeo and pro rodeo, and so I had plenty of rodeos to go to. And yeah, so 12 years. I was just telling my wife last night as I was stretching, I was thinking I might need to stretch a little extra tomorrow before we get on practice horses. And I feel good. I didn't pull anything, so thank goodness. But like,
Yeah.
I mean, I hadn't even looked at my saddle in a month or 5 weeks, a little over a month, because I pulled it out last week, and then that's whenever we were talking. I was like, I need to call,
Yeah.
you know, DB and get on some bucking horses because it's been sitting in the van collecting dust. So felt good. Now I'm like I said, man, after a month break, you got that bug bad. And
Yeah.
You're just craving something. So
Your brother been getting on?
I think he has been. You know, he lives right there by the college,
Yeah.
and
Huntsville Bearcat shout out.
that's
Call
it.
Bubba.
Eat 'em up,
Miller.
Bearcat. And I mean, I live right by Tarleton, so it's not like I have,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But I don't know if they're bucking and stuff. And like I said, I've just been really taking the break and enjoying it. And but like I said, you can only take that break for so long, and
Yeah.
then you gotta get rolling again, maybe.
Yeah. NFR this year's going to be fun.
Oh,
I'm not trying to talk about Debbie Downer stuff.
It is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
No
We haven't talked about it hardly at all, but we've just been talking about rodeoing, going down the road, and I've
Tiger
filled him
King.
in on some of the stories of you guys, you
Yeah.
and Stir,
Okay.
Mostly
Some
of
of-
Sterling.
Yeah.
mostly of Sterling.
His are a little more colorful. I'm always in the
colorful.
background of those stories, trying to like get us to where we're gotta get, and so there's like a balance. Like you have to have. I know how much fun I can have and still steer the ship.
So he has that extra fun.
So he's never had to steer the ship. So like he has sometimes blown a hole in the ship's floor and made us sink, but like he's never had to like get up there and get him back on it. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, the time we missed that rodeo in Massachusetts and we were in Reno, I could have strangled my brother.
What
But
happened?
Nothing, I can't tell you. But anyways, I'll tell you this. He wasn't where he was supposed to be. And I was sleeping, standing up, and he had the rental car keys. And I'm sleeping, standing up, outside of outside of the rental car. Like here's the rental car, and like we're in the parking garage, and I'm just leaning against the wall. And he said I walked up and I looked like one of those cutouts of like the cowboy leaning on the wall because I had my hat pulled down and my arms crossed, and I was leaned back up against it. But yeah, my younger brother, he's never, like I said, he's never. I think it's just he's never had to steer the ship. You know, you look at parents and you're like, you coddled him, you know, and that's why you did that to him. It's like, maybe I coddled him. I don't know. I just have to come to terms with the fact that I should have let him try to steer the ship, but I just always.
Who all have you traveled with?
So Sterling and I traveled with Cody Anglin our first year, full time. Jeremy and I, you know, since we were just circuit rodeoing.
Jeremy Melanson.
Yeah, Jeremy. And Stir, you know, before that. And I remember the first amateur finals, because money was tight in college, you know what I'm saying, as most 19, 20-year-old kids. And I remember me and Sterling won first and second in every round of the CPRE finals. And we never thought we'd see another broke day. Like it was just
Yeah.
like money, baby.
Yeah.
And so like I've since those days, Sterling and then Jeremy, and then full-time rodeo is us and Cody Anglin, and then but Dino since we were in high school, like 15 years old. Like I was 15, Dean was 16, and we go to like Canadian, Wellington, you know, all those, the fourth run, what was it, Amarillo.
Yep.
We had Stanford. I broke out my Stanford buckle the other day for like wearing around, you know, the place buckle to work in
Yeah.
because it's lightweight.
That's going to be their first rodeo.
There you go. Dude, it's Stanford on like a Thursday with like Jay Cooker afterwards is like they used to roll dice. I don't know if they still roll a bunch of dice with that. But anyways, that's just like that was my childhood, man. Like
and
that
then,
was just
then A-Lod,
oh, and A-Lod. Yeah. Oh, A-Lod was with us a lot of the time.
off and on,
Well, with
heavy, and then since you were both at A&M,
Right.
picked up more then.
Well, with Dino and me and A-Lod, and we rodeoed we had a G6. He had a Dodge Neon, and his Dodge Neon, funny enough, the accelerator was stuck. So like, if you were in drive, if you ever tried, like it wouldn't go below whatever RPMs. Anyways, so like, if you pulled up to a stop sign, you'd have to put it in neutral, and this thing would rev up at the stop sign. So you'd put your foot on the brake, drop it into drive, and get ready because whenever you let off, you and you'd spin out. And like, so there's 4 high school boys rodeoing in this Dodge Neon, and they're a tough car, man. That's a great car. And
You're looking for a first car, Dutch.
first car, rodeo car. That thing was good.
Who are some random guys that might have jumped in with you just in latter years, even just for a few weekends?
I think everybody jumps in, though. You know what I mean? Like, we were talking about that summer that the Sports Illustrated guys got in, the writer and the
Yeah.
cameraman. Well, Bradley, this is in Big Earn, which it's not. There was 4 seats and a bed, like a little bed, not like a
Yeah.
sprinter bed. And we already had me, Sterling, Dean, Jeremy. So those 4 individuals, the photographer and the writer. So now that makes 6. Remember I said there was 4 chairs and like a bench that laid into a bed the size of this table. And then Bradley called me. He's like, hey, you think I can get a ride from Prescott to St. Paul? And without even thinking about it, absolutely, Bradley, we'll get you in there. And then like
And then 5 Bronx saddles.
Yeah.
and then
all your
5
stuff.
Bronx saddles and all that. And from Prescott to St. Paul, because the writer and the photographer, they like stayed camped out in the back 2 captain's chairs. Like they never got on the bed. They never got the
Yeah.
2 front. Like that was their seats. And you just let them be because you understood. But like we were 3 deep in that bed that was this big, like from Prescott to St. Paul.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they've got some pictures that are pretty good of like us just being ching, ching, ching. You know what I mean? Like,
At least the gas was cheap.
yeah, but we were burning oil as fast as we were burning gas. So, like, there's pictures of Jeremy just putting in oil. I never changed the oil. Never changed the oil in that van. I just kept
You just add
adding
it.
oil, but it was burning through fast enough that, like,
And then you.
and then I sold it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I bought it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was my deal. I never put any oil in it.
Well, you're saving.
Well, that's not
Yeah.
your
Now you ain't got
problem
to change it.
Yeah. And then you rodeoed in an ambulance.
That was the best buy Sterling, Crawley, and I ever had was whenever we bought the ambulance. And so,
Said every rodeo announcer across the country
so
when it was really Jeremy Melanson, pronounced on Procom Melankin,
Which got
eventually
shortened.
to
Yeah.
Lankin, then Lanko,
right.
then
Except for that
Wank.
one rodeo
then
program,
Queso.
where we got his login and we changed his name to Melankin. And so his first name is Melankin because they read their nicknames at the rodeo. So if you put a nickname, they're going to read it. So it was Melankin. Melanson was in the program, and I still have the program. It was from Spanish Fork in 11. And we knew it was Sterling that had changed it because Melankin was lowercase. So, so like, he didn't, his name was just all lowercase. It's like, come on, Stir. You got to capitalize the first letter of his name. But, so that's
So
how
they
it-
pronounce it Melankin.
yeah, but I think they actually went with Melankin Melankin. But It was pretty great.
So
I
it went.
remember where we went. You and I went somewhere, and you filled out my stuff to send in, and you put
Bug.
yeah, my family called me Bug. You put Bug, and somebody walked up, and they were like, "Who the is Bug? Who is this guy?"
Adams,
Yeah.
shoot boss for Hilo and
That's
Bullfighter.
oh, I'm
uh,
sorry. How is this happening right
My-
now?
me too.
Because he's my man.
That's my man,
Travis.
Travis
Yeah.
Adams. Travis Adams was like, "Who the is Bug?"
And I'm standing right
I was like,
beside you. I was like, "That's me, man."
I didn't
That's-
know when you put nickname in there.
That they
So that's
use
my
the
bad.
nickname.
And it was,
yeah.
I went in like that night and changed it online, and for like 6 months they called me Bug.
That's funny.
Jeez. But so it went Jeremy Melanson, but you pronounce it Melankin, then Lankin, then Lanko, then Queso,
In Queso Blanco.
then
Yeah.
Queso Blanco.
What's next?
So now they call him Queso Blanco.
Mr. Rajas. Yeah.
Please name off that sequence. Do you remember? We got an Office fan over here.
Oh, I know. He got me one time with a quote. Yeah, but he goes, Mr. Rogers. I was like, oh, he goes, I thought it wasn't that.
I can't
It was
remember.
Mr. Philbin.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Daryl.
This
Then
is gonna
Daryl
be
Philman. then Mr. Philman. Then Mr. Rogers.
No,
or
it was
something.
Regis.
Then Regis.
Yeah.
Then Raj.
Then Mr.
Then
Rajas.
Mr. Raja.
This
Yeah.
is gonna be the hardest podcast for anybody to,
You got to know
to
Rodeo.
really grasp.
You got to
The
know
Office.
Jacobs and Sterling, and you have to watch The Office.
And yeah, because they say it whenever he goes into the office, and he's like, "This is Mr. Rogers' neighborhood," and he goes, "And this is Daryl. Oh, Daryl Rogers." He's like, "No, Daryl Philbin," but then it was, Regis Philbin. Then it was Reg. Then it was Roger. Then it was Mr. Rogers. That's how he does it.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember? That's like one of the first few.
When he's introducing Daryl to the camera crew.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Come on.
And the whole
You got
time,
me. Yeah.
the whole time, Michael Scott, Steve Carell's back there going, Mr. Raja.
Yeah. That's pretty great. Anyways.
Yeah. So, you got that down for you. You got to be an office lover, and you're
To ride
redheaded.
dogs.
You also got to play the
Redheaded.
guitar, which you do.
He plays guitar.
You do pick a little. That's awesome.
So
You know, so
you're
the-
on your way.
The best bronc riders that I know pick. You know, I don't know if Billy plays guitar, but I'm
Yeah.
sure he probably.
You're gonna have to entertain
wants
You
yourself.
remember
all
that
the
time
time.
when Billy Ebeyer
Oh, I
tried to
can
give you
entertain
his
myself.
boots, and it was all you could? They were just too freaking small.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
Where was that?
I want to say Odessa. That might have just been where you told me the story. But
I might-
remember, he was like trying to, and you were like, "Oh, if I could just fit into these sevens."
Yeah, because I was about to say they were pretty small.
They
I'll,
were
I'll
too
say this:
small for you,
they weren't 9.5. You know what I mean? I just remember them not being my boot size.
and you were like, "Gosh darn it, I wish they fit so bad. I just
Yeah.
can't take them."
Yeah, I do remember that.
God, that was funny. It's like Michael Jordan coming up to you, like,
I remember when we were in Cheyenne, me and you and Pop, and me and Pop flew up, and Billy, we stopped in Oklahoma City on the plane, and Billy Ebeyer got on the plane and sat beside me, and Pop was sitting across from me, and Billy fell asleep, and Pop was like, "Switch me seats, switch me seats," and I was like, "Pop, he knows you. Y'all are gonna talk at the rodeo, no?"
that's funny.
But I remember that. That was one of my favorite. That's one of my favorite rodeos. Was me and you and Pop and yeah, Billy.
Favorite buckle. Second favorite buckle.
Okay. Ooh, that's tough.
Salinas.
Sterling won Salinas. I've never won Salinas.
That's what I meant. Sterling's second favorite.
Fort
Sterling's
Worth
favorite
gives a
buckle.
pretty sweet throwback that Cordy wears,
Oh yeah.
and it's pretty sweet. And so that one, and he was alive when I won it, so
Yeah.
that was pretty cool. And so that's his little buckle. That would probably be if I had to pick a second, but I like them all. I mean,
Who was
they're
alive?
Cordy. He was
Oh.
born. Sorry,
I thought you meant.
I meant like someone that
yeah.
had passed. No. My
Yeah.
son was born.
I was like, oh crap.
No. I don't mean go dark. I meant more of like exciting. Like, hey, here's my kid. He was there.
So the first buckle, your number one buckle, is the world champ buckle. I remember that night I was at the MGM, and I was like, "What's up?" And you were like, "I got."
Did I have?
No, you were like, "I got the buckle," and you were like, and I was like, "Oh yeah," and you were like, it's in the van, and they ain't getting it back. That's what you said. That's good. Yeah, and they ain't getting it back.
I
What was your
think-
most memorable horse at that NFR?
Medicine Woman, without a doubt.
Medicine Woman.
Because the 5th round, she had won.
89.5.
Well, no, I was 88 that year. It was 89. That was the next year. I won the round that year. The second time, Coburn won the round the year I had her in 15 on Wound Up, and he was 90. And
Oh,
that
I
TV
remember
pin.
that.
But at that point, like, the first 4 rounds had been, like, really good. I had drawn pretty nice, like, just, you know, towards the top of the pin, good to ride. And at that point in time, Medicine Woman was still doing her deal to where she was getting a lot of victims out there, especially.
Yeah.
And, like, I was thinking, oh, crap, this is going to be test the sand kind of deal. And then it worked out. And, like, she blew me out after the whistle. And, like, dude, I was on cloud 9. Like I said, I've won rounds out there and not been as excited as, like, that feeling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because she was really, really good, you know. And like I said, sometimes whenever it's, like, right at the whistle, if you're trying your butt off and they buck you off right after the whistle, that was a pretty hyped up.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
definitely
You got a
Medicine
cool
Woman.
pick too, out of that.
Yeah, she's my girl. That's probably that horse and Top Hat are my favorite too. Just because they're mares, they're so sweet. Just want to brush them, just feed them, you know, every morning, just some cubes and stuff like that by hand.
Does Stace flank the horses, like Top Hat at
Terry, well, I don't know if Stace
At
does.
the
He
NFR?
does sometimes.
or
Yeah.
does Terry do it at
I
the
mean,
NFR?
I'm
sure they
don't
switch
get me
back
to
and
line.
forth.
I'm about to say.
Yeah.
Bet it depends on the horse.
But that horse, the Top Hat, you know, I won my first circuit finals on that horse in 10.
Yep.
And so, like, she's been my girl for a minute now.
That was a cool pick too.
Yeah.
Man, that was
yeah.
hard.
Etched it in some leather.
Yeah, I still got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Is
still
that
got
one?
it. Still got
Yeah.
the frame.
Shadow box.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
That was actually the first,
One of the first
one of the first things I ever
Tool?
really did well in
It was
leatherwork.
the first thing. I think it was the first thing you tooled that wasn't like a floral pattern.
Yeah,
Like, you were,
it
like,
was the first
tooling
figure I've
something.
ever done.
Yeah.
was that
Well, it
shadow
had
box.
JC, and it had a
Yeah.
floral.
Well, it was a practice deal,
Yeah.
and then it turned out really well. And then it was like 2 days later when I got done with it, the PSN came out with
Yeah.
"You Were the Centerfold,"
Yeah.
and so I
3-piece.
that was were
My bio.
you were living with us
Yeah.
then, weren't
Oh,
you?
yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And
I was
then it
living
was
with
just before he got home from class. I went to Hobby Lobby and got a shadow box, and I
It
was,
was
like,
pretty legit.
well, just because it was like we'd been going down
Yeah,
the road together
absolutely.
for
I get
years,
it.
and it,
It
was
was
like
good.
Yeah,
that's
I
what we
get it.
all were chasing, and he was doing
Yeah,
it.
it
I was
was-
excited for him.
Here, don't make this weird, but here I made this.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't make this
Got some
weird.
bandanas and put it in the
It's
back.
still got
of
a
it
red
and glued
bandana.
in,
It
and- yeah,
does.
and-
And it's still in great shape
Yeah.
right now. Yeah, it's in my.
I made this. Whatever. Okay.
the
See ya.
gym.
Don't make a big
So-
deal.
don't even thank me for it. Just take it. Don't even look at me.
All right. Well,
I take compliments.
you got any questions
awkwardly.
for JC?
You ain't got to make it about rodeo. You just be off the top. I actually answer questions better that aren't about rodeo.
I don't know, man. I don't do good under pressure when you put me on the spot like that.
That's all right.
That's
I
good.
just didn't know if
So-
you had anything you thought about.
What
Not
is
that he hasn't answered to he
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
a good job.
like not rodeos that you won or anything like that, but the one rodeo a year, like not Cheyenne, Calgary, none of the big ones, like a smaller, 10,000 or less rodeo.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite out of like a smaller
my
venue kind
gosh.
of deal?
That's. I can't possibly do that because they're all so great.
Like,
I can give you like if you tell me like, all right, what month is your favorite rodeo?
April.
okay, so in South Dakota, what's your favorite rodeo in South Dakota?
No, let's go with the month. April.
Yeah, April.
Okay, April.
Okay, what's going down in April? I'm thinking about it.
The beaches of Winnebago, because that's the only thing happening right now.
This is very true. This is exactly where it's at in April.
But
yeah.
no, on a normal,
mine
on a
is-
normal year.
Mine in April is Longview.
Longview.
because
I was
they
gonna say
'cause
I
they
like Longview.
baller hospitality.
And it's
Roadhouse.
Yeah, I mean for small ones because that April really's got like Red Bluff, Corpus, you know, all them like that. Helotes is right into May, so you can't count Helotes. Yeah, so that's probably gonna have to be it. Longview's mine too. I've had a lot of
October.
luck in Longview. That's my
October.
man. I love. First off, there's several good circuit rodeos that we can like with
Yeah.
with Belleville and Hempstead and
Liberty,
Rosenberg, and Liberty,
Seguin.
Seguin. Belleville has always been one of my joints, and
Right,
that's
huh?
probably where we first
Yeah.
started. Like when I was like 19 or 20.
Yep.
Right before, because I wasn't even at A&M. I transferred to A&M the next January, and that
Yeah.
would have been October of what was that, 8 or 9?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Belleville,
was
they got a
9.
good throwdown too. They
They
got
do.
that hospitality. And
Yes.
because they do a lot of red dirt music kind of stuff.
Mo
over there.
Betta.
Mhm.
Mo
Um,
Betta puts on the rodeo. Dusty Tuckness fights
I'm
it.
about to
Boyd.
say Johnny Bush. I don't know if like some
Yeah.
old country stuff. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I remember Green Snakes on the Ceiling. Like, they got some good music
Yeah, I
over
remember.
there.
That was my first pro rodeo. Maybe not.
Rosenberg's
that particular
great too, though.
Yeah, Rosenberg.
Like, cause there's what I'm saying. Like that, those first 2 weekends, there's some great rodeos that are some smaller ones. If you went June, talking about great small rodeos that are so much fun. Coleman, Texas,
Coleman,
is pretty tough to beat.
Yeah. Weatherford is really fun,
Weatherford's great, absolutely.
but
Coleman's
But and you know it's Stace, and they always have good music. Cody
Mhm.
Johnson played there.
and their crew, like the Stace crew, is just such a cool group of guys.
Yeah.
And I've always gotten along.
Right,
with
except
them.
for
I
Levi.
really-
Yeah.
So, I just want that on
Levi's-
record.
Yeah.
I just want to be on the microphone.
Except for
so-
Levi McRae.
yeah. I'm
Good
kidding.
boy.
Not like Levi. I'm just kidding. Levi.
He's pretty
If you
handy at the
ever heard
leather
this.
work too.
Cody Kidd.
Him and old Terry.
He's not there no more, but.
Yeah, I
He's-
know.
he's-
He,
that's
he
a-
cameos every now and then. He'll sneak in there every now
And if you were to go March, automatically I went Goliad.
go, yeah.
So that was a bummer this year.
God.
Dang. I know. That was the first first weekend.
I was going to Goliad.
You were.
I was going to Goliad.
Yeah.
I did miss the books, but I was going to re-enter it for whatever night they had open,
Really.
and that's when they canceled it.
Mm-hmm. It's a tough break, man. Anyways, it's a bummer.
Anyways.
It's a bummer.
Well, you got anything? Give us your life advice. That's how we wrap up these podcasts.
Mm.
I don't have any today. I've been pretty solid.
You can give us your go-to.
What's your go-to? See, that's what I'm saying.
Remember?
Enlighten
You
me.
said it yesterday.
No. Yeah.
You remember which one it was?
The one I said yesterday was.
It must have been good.
Keep riding.
Keep
Even
riding.
when you life advice. Keep riding even when she bugs.
Even when she bucks.
What was the one I said before that though? The one I kind of meant a little something. What did I say? Oh, get comfortable being uncomfortable.
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That is good.
Leroy,
Um,
you ain't been on one. You can use it.
when using a knife, cut away from your holding hand.
Yep.
Look at my phone. I don't know if you can see that cut.
See that little guy?
Oh,
What you got, JC? It can be serious or funny.
Into the microphone.
I got no. You heard all my advice.
That's
all I
what
got.
this whole thing has been.
That's all
Yeah.
I got.
You'd rather ride a loose saddle than a tight saddle.
On.
A bronc.
Hang 'em-
Okay,
hang 'em
thank
high.
you. Be
And hang 'em.
specific.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wash your hands and say prayers because germs and Jesus are everywhere.
You're welcome.
Come on.
Yeah, bo.
Come on.
Thanks, and on to the next one. Pow, pow. We'd like to thank the Ruffy Hooey athlete, Jacobs Crawley. Here we go.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna have some
46 minutes.
afternoon.